Hello, welcome back to Elephant. Last episode we did two levels, right? One of them much harder than the other. Yeah, but I found it pretty satisfying. Hold on. Ooh, I wanted to like look at the background for a little bit. Like I didn't realize, but the background had like these little, well, not little, like this. It's covering the entire screen. These marks here, I don't know what these are, but like from the first chapter to the third, it all seemed pretty incomprehensible. And all of a sudden, this fourth chapter has like some actual characters in it. This character, I don't know what that would look like what kind of word that would be. Oh, right, I again forgot to research on how to pronounce these. I'll do that eventually. Anyway, this episode, we're gonna continue doing these levels. Yeah, another thing that I wanted to sort of look back at is still this conversation level. I still haven't gotten it yet. I don't think I've really thought about it much, but even then, I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so moving on. Moving on. More of these things. Okay. So we got redirecting here. So this probably has to be redirected, and this probably has to be, that. Okay. So two redirections possible. This redirection can, I guess this looks valid. You're very stuck. I don't think I can actually pull you out ever. Like even if you connect to either of these. I can see how other connections can happen. You can either be this way or this way. I do prefer this a bit more. Generally because you can, more easily be... Well, you can be pulled downwards. Oh, let's not do that. You can be pulled downwards and then sort of attracted this way. And then I suppose this can happen. I do realize we have some very interesting stuff going on though. Okay. Oh, what about this? Look at that. Maybe that's useful now. That's interesting. I could try doing that. Okay, so first we gotta get you to face the right direction. Gotta pull you up. So this almost works. I think the only reason why this wouldn't work is because I can't actually get onto that glyph. But because I can now push the glyph around, I can push the LF around as if it were a pushable. This can happen, right? The only thing is that, can't really do anything anymore about this. Because, this thing is very stuck. If I could pull this out from here, maybe that would be better. I'm given a lot of space, which is really interesting. I'm given a lot of space to work with. I don't know why that's the case. Usually I'm not given this, that much space at all. But there has to be a certain reason why. I really do think this is better. Is it ever possible to get you out? The only reason I would see that being possible... Or the only way I'd see that being possible is this. With the Aleph being pushed upwards. But even then, you need another glyph here. You would need... Well, even then, if there were another glyph here, it would need to be connected to a Nikud, and then that Nikud would have to be pushed upwards as well, which cannot happen at all in this chamber. So I really do think that you can't be moved around. The direction of you, of this Kamatz, and the direction of this Hirik, well, not this direction of this Hirik, but the direction of this Kamatz does indicate that it likely wants to be attached to this guy, even though theoretically an attachment to you also works. However, I can say that I'd like this a lot more, because this allows for a downward pull, and it wouldn't be the case in the other situation. Okay, hold on, I gotta get you... Where were you from? You weren't supposed to... Yeah. So, I also do think that at some point, this move is so easily accessible. I feel like it will be necessary at some point. It'd be pretty challenging to work around, but it would be useful at some point to happen. I can also pull this way. In fact, doing that might allow for some other interesting things. Like, it allows for this kind of thing to happen. I do more so prefer something like this. Because this can actually push this inwards and then still allow this to connect. So I would like a shape that looks like this. This shape looks very useful. This can also be pulled up if you were sort of in here. So let's try seeing if I can jailbreak this guy out. Doesn't seem very easy though. Like if I try it... Okay. Let's say I did this. Let's say I did this. Yes, I can sort of swap these guys around. So I can start off with a shape that looks like this. Maybe that's useful. How would I pull this out? I don't think I can actually. Can I? I can push it in. That's very... Yeah, no, this is... Wait. Okay, hold on. No. See, I wanted this to be out because... Given a shape that looked like this can only be pulled out with you. Like, if I put you in here, I can push this upwards and then this entire thing can come out free. So I think that's the goal. I think that's my vision. That's exactly what I want to do, if that were possible. Now, early on before this was created, I wonder if this was ever a valid thing that I could have done. I did like this to do this diagonal connection. This was good. I suppose another thing that could happen is this? No, well, not really. Hold on. Okay, so, alright, let's just ignore this thing for a moment. Let's see, if this were to happen, what other situations would this be able to be pulled out? Oh, you know what? Hold on, something else can work here. This can be removed, and I think it might even be... Oh, this is not useful. But, you know, a lot of stuff here can be useful. That kind of works, but still kind of excessive. I do really think an upright needs to occur, but right now an upright can only occur in a way where it's not accessible. So yeah, I do think my vision is right. I do think eventually my vision has to be correct. But maybe not. Maybe, you know, for some weird, obscure reason. This can never be moved, even with this glyph. It just can't be shifted enough. Unless, you know, this existed to help it out first. So, like, could this ever exist to help it out? Could you pull this out? I don't think this can be ever pulled out. Like, it just cannot, unless there existed... I don't know what could exist here to pull this out either. It has to be... another one of these Nikuds, right? It has to be this guy, I think. Okay. How can I pull you out? Is it even possible? I don't think it is. If I ever try to do this ever again, because these two are in the same spot, they'll always receive the same treatment, they'll always just be moved around. I suppose I can sort of like do some funny... What if I did this? That just moves it over. If I did some... If I blocked with like... If I blocked with a glyph or if I blocked with Nikud, right? I could separate them again. But I don't see the purpose of that. See, if this was already like in this shape, then I don't actually need to do this step. And if I were to flip it around, what good is it if it became this shape? What good would that be? It wouldn't. I do want to play around with this for a bit. I know this can be remedied, yeah? This can definitely be remedied. As long as this guy isn't here. This can be easily fixed and then the opposite can happen. Which is why I did want to play around with this shape for a bit. It looks maybe useful. I can do that. I can do a bunch of stuff. This doesn't pull anything. That thing over there, this thing over here is just so... It's out. It's not there anymore. Maybe I can do something with this? I don't think so. I don't think I can do anything with that. Like, how else would this be valid? I did want this shape, didn't I? I did want that shape. Can't pull it out though. I don't think anything can pull it out. Unless I had a split. Maybe like with a split I can pull stuff out. I don't no there isn't any... There just isn't any way to pull stuff out. Right? This looks impossible. There's no big possibility space here. This just looks... This looks like it has zero possibility space. And I don't know what to do about that information. Ta-da! What was the good in that? What was the good in that? I got stuck, right? This gets very stuck. If it happened to be horizontal, which... I mean, it was for a period of time. Yeah. I guess I can technically push it in. But then, you know, same problem. Can't really do anything with that. I haven't really used this thing on the side. I feel like this little nook is useful in some way. I am not sure how or why. I only ever used it in whatever I've done so far. I don't know if it's a hyper-specific setup or if it's geometrically inspired, this little nook here. Is there some geometric quirk about this? Oh no, it's so that when this eventually gets pulled out, I can push it out. Right, it's when, you know, this thing eventually... Yeah, when this thing gets pulled upwards, I need to be able to push it out. So that's what this is for. Okay. So again, main goal has to do with separating you or pulling you outwards. No. What? I mean, what else can I do, really? That. I also did a really funny looking thing. But I wouldn't say this helps me in any way. Does it? I wouldn't say it does. This just looks horribly stuck, and I don't think there's anything I can really do to get it out. Unless I manage to crunch you. I can't move you around, even if I were facing you from this position. Which is not easy, by the way, but, you know, technically speaking, possible. It just doesn't pull because, you know, there's no space to pull into. I don't see any other way of doing this. To pull you out, like, the only real way of doing that is by pulling out from behind here. And I don't think there's any real method of doing that. Because you need a solid object to be where I am. And you need a solid object to be moved over to the left as well. While this is facing up. I just think that doesn't feel plausible. Like, no, in no world do I even think that's plausible. That just looks really stuck. So like, what else can I do? I can sort of maybe try making it so that you up here instead? No. Like, the only real good spot... The only real good spot to turn you down diagonal is, you know... It was here. If you look at every other diagonal here, very few actually make any real sense. I guess this somewhat does. But the problem is that I can't pull this down. And if I had to pull it down, I had to redirect it to be here. You can't pull down from here unless something's blocking. You know, technically that's feasible. But pull down from like what? Yeah, like this is just such a pointless position or pointless direction. Is it possible to point you wrongly first? Is there any reason why I should do that? Like this looks like the best and only option I have, really. I wanna know if sure, whatever. If this has any real purpose. I haven't found any real use for this object. I don't think I found a use for it. You know what else I could do? I could technically, I think, do this funny thing, and then pull horizontally. Have I tried doing that? I have. I mean, it hasn't been useful. It's interesting, but it gets stuff really stuck for no real reason. You know, horizontal isn't the best thing that could happen right now. Anyway, yeah, even if this was pushed left out, right, I was need to find a way to pull it downwards. I believe, technically speaking, the only downward pulling can occur here, and that would sort of like scrunch these up together again. So even then, we do meet problems, even if I could get this out. So maybe that vision is wrong. Maybe there is some other way to get that shape, or maybe some other shape is required. I really do think the only way to push this in... If I push this in with like a flipped horizontal, like this, but instead of facing right, it faces left, I could technically then you know, somewhat do a push this way. But even then, we still get some troubles. Again, don't think it's possible to free this. Yeah, that's why I do think that the upright is the best way to go. The Nikud facing upright. It pushes in, it pushes this in, doesn't get it too... Yeah, so I just need to be able to do that. Doesn't look possible at all though. If I were to go for an upright, then the thing that's supposed to be pulled... Actually, you know what? If I went vertical first, how can an upright also occur? An upright can also occur if the diagonal was... If it were horizontal like this, and then I pulled down the commands from here downwards, that also gets an upright. So maybe that's the other vision I could do. Get this horizontal facing, with the commands facing rightwards. Okay. But see, this is the opposite of one. This is going further and further away. Alternatively, if I could somehow, you know, use this... Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. That was useful. I just don't put this there first. If I put it there, then it's completely useless. It doesn't do anything for me. But you can act as a buffer, and this, with this horizontal position here, allows for that pulling to occur. There you go. That frees things up. Yeah, you are still in the right direction. So there you go. Hold on. I do need to shift you in there so you don't get stuck. This. Hold on. Okay, well, I suppose before going all the way in here, should have been, yeah, you should have already done your job, I think. And then I gotta pull this. There you go. There you go. The vision was almost right. My method of getting to the vision was wrong, but the vision was right. Cool. Alright, next level. Whatever character that would be. Okay. 1 pulling. 3 commands, 1 Heroic. So this has to be redirected up diagonal, or this could be pulled towards the... Well, yeah, okay, look at this. I can pull this way. If a glyph were... Hold on. This is very stuck. In fact, yeah, I have very few choices. I can either do this. Oh, I can either do that. I think that might be better. This gives me a bit more... If I could get the glyph... I want this glyph to be here, I think. Could I have afforded to do that? That is not great. How about this? No. There's so much space up here. I wonder what that's all about. I guess I could do some shuffling. I can enter this top section and somewhat get stuff through. Why? Is that necessary? Why would that be necessary? I have to store things? Got a couple of things I can do. I can either pull this up. That actually looks a lot better. In fact, yeah, if I got the contraction, I'm gonna call it contraction now. I can push this up on my own, and then I can get this out in its correct position. So that's my goal, I think. I need a contraction. I like, get it? Contraction is actually really apt in this case because a contraction is also like a literary thing. Get it? Yeah. I'm just kidding. That's not gonna do anything for me. Well, no, that's pointless. Maybe this was better. But I can't push it. I can't really push it without stepping on it. I don't think I want to step on this. Like, really, it looks like... At this position, you can theoretically point up left if there were a Kamat's Aleph here, however you call that. A redirecting here can get it to face up left. This have to be pulled out, which actually doesn't feel very... It feels possible. You get some very weird stuff going on though. I do think what they want me to do is just to pull this out by 1. A lot of other things can be accomplished by then. You do act as a blockage because this can't be redirected, therefore this can be redirected. I can still pull stuff around. Like, yeah, for example. No, I can't pull you. Crap. Yeah, I can't pull you guys yet. I can... pull you guys. Ta-da! Ooh, I forgot direction. Oh. Wait, if directions can be changed, that might do a lot of things for us then. That's not great. I can do that. That's interesting. Yeah, and then I can push it over. And then I believe if I got you in the right position, I can straighten you out again. Huh, okay. There it is. And I can push you through here. And this lets me do whatever contraction that I want. There you go. I do notice that this has to be broken back up. I have to break this up. How will I do that? Did I do that just now? I did that. Did I do that last level? I forget what I did last level. That isn't gonna help. How will I break up this thing? I couldn't have stepped on it before. I sort of want this, but also I want another glyph in between it. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so this doesn't do anything, right? This does another... Okay, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want... Do you want the opposite of that? You're kind of stuck. Hold on. Before all of this stuff went on... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this contraction is... This contraction leads to this, and like I can't really do anything afterwards about this guy besides it being pushed around. I guess it can still be pushed around. It just doesn't really help out anymore. Because I can't push it back unless I pulled it, you know. Can I pull it outwards? Like really, where can I pull this thing? That's not great at all. Probably don't want to do that ever. Okay. If I could move this guy, I think it would be home free. I could like set up this whole horizontal thing. If I could move you around, which seems a little challenging at the very least. I could move you up. But that does the opposite of what I want, doesn't it? It does the opposite of what I want. It does the opposite. It contracts more. Which is clearly wrong. It does get 2 things, and technically speaking I can already touch you. So maybe if I can somehow, you know... No, but yeah, but I need 5 things. So a second contraction basically makes the entire process irreversible. Too bad this... Even if I could get up here, I don't think I could really move it elsewhere. This thing just can't be moved away. But I do need this to be the solid object, so I do need the Nikud to be there. These 2 therefore have to be the ones that are... Maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe I simply had to... Maybe instead of like doing that contraction, I simply had to rotate you. Okay. Let's not push you that far. Oh, what? Oh, that thing has never gone... Oh, that's awkward. Okay, oh. I suppose I should be I should be trying to at least somewhat pull you back. Like if I could get this thing to be up left, I could pull it out. Can I get this to be up left? From here it might be possible. Vertically technically does not work actually, so no. Up left, up left, up left. Up left can be done in a few ways. Generally though, I don't know what I want. Can move stuff around. I guess if I pushed you down, the thing would have been possible if you were first horizontal. So yeah, if you were first horizontal, ooh, I want to push you down. Then a down left would work. But clearly you can see that that's actually being that setup is being very annoying right now. Trying to set that up. I don't know if it's supposed to be impossible. Is it supposed to be impossible for that reason? Like, look at this. This is very close to what I want. I just can't enter that spot because if I tried to do that, everything would be redirected. Which I don't like. So like, downhill is a lot better in pulling things out, but that would require me to push this LF down, which I have no idea how to do. Yeah, so not really what I am looking for. But see, this looks so promising. If only I could do that. If only I could do that. Which I clearly right now it looks like I'm forced not to. Like the design of this level just makes it seem like I'm not supposed to. This thing over here is very annoying. I haven't used this at all up here. Maybe I'm supposed to do some fancy maneuver. Like, I suppose, technically speaking... Why is that useful? That doesn't do anything. I can technically move this around, but... This has to connect to something. Right now, I can't move anything else. Like, actually, I can't move anything else at all. So, like... Right now, I can only pull things from above and from below. I'm assuming this causes a connection, right? Yeah, of course it would. Why would it not? That's pointless. Can't do that. There is also this thing over here though. Makes it very interesting to me. I suppose technically speaking I could do this kind of stuff. Why would I want to do that? If this were down diagonal... You know, if this thing were down diagonal, like, this setup also looks perfect to get it through. It would take up these two spots. I could go... No, I guess not. No, even a down diagonal I have to go through this area down here. I don't get what this nook is for then. Push. Why can't I push? I do like the fact that you can straighten and unstraighten. What was the goal again? I forget what the goal was, honestly. The goal was to pull you out. Right now, it doesn't look possible. It looks a lot more possible to push you up and into there, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, like this is how I got it, right? This is how I got you up and in. And then I straightened this out again. And that was very nice. Very clean set of moves. That got a good contraction. But, well, I guess that's what this nook is for. This nook did help me get this out of there. But I can't uncontract, and I hate that I can't do that. How do I uncontract? Not here. Like, the Aleph has to be here, right? If I rearranged you first, or I redirected you... Huh. I can't push around. This doesn't let anything out though. It still doesn't really work. I can move stuff around, but you know, how much use was that really? This pull? What? This doesn't do anything. Ah, we don't do that here. Nope. That is also kind of stuck up there, so. I think it's the best I can do. You know. I can't do any other redirection on the Hirik, right? Because it's already connected at the start, so no amount of redirection or no amount of trying can redirect you. There is no other pulling mechanism to redirect you as well, so no. Ah, you out, please. Like, look at this. Well, I say look at this. I don't even know what I'm trying to get people to look at. I don't understand why that's a useful setup. Ah. That didn't really help, did it? Yeah, maybe that's not supposed to happen. Maybe pulling it out is never supposed to occur. Because right now, even if I could pull stuff out, I can't get it in properly. Like, I do somewhat wonder if, you know... I just need to pull you out by one, and then I can just do that. I can't do the contraction like that, though. So, like, yeah, if I wanted to do a contraction at all, then, you know, there has to be a solid object here. This solid object has to be this Kamat. Therefore, these two things have to be these Aleph glyphs. Which means that there is basically no reason why this shouldn't be against the wall. This has to be against the wall. And I did find, you know, pretty convincing... I found methods to get it that looked pretty good to me. So, I don't know. Sorry, what was I supposed to do again? Right, hold on. Yeah, push it up. Wait, no. Wait, no. Wait, no, I need to do this first. And I need to move you around the back, I think. Yeah, that pulls you up. And I can push you over. So that's almost sort of what I think is forced. At least it looks somewhat forced to me. It looks really tight, which is why I like it. But you know, maybe that's not it. But this contraction pulls it out. If I can get another such pull to occur, maybe we're good. But like this doesn't really work. Why would I want another pull to occur? I want that LF here, right? And then I want, you know, the contracted one to be here. Hmm. Okay. Oh, hold on. What if first there were a redirection so that I can push you down? What was my goal? I've lost my goal. Hold on. I was just trying to think about it. But it's gone again. Oh, crap. I lost it. I lost my train of thought. I said, ooh, what if? And then I lost it. Where was I going with this? Wait, yeah, hold on. What about something that isn't a contraction? Like, look at this. This gets this glyph out. No, this pushes in, right? Because these two aren't connected. If they were connected, you get that cool thing, but these two aren't connected, which is why. You need them to be connected for this contraction thing to work. And even still, it wouldn't. Oh, you know, no. I was like, you know what would work? If this could happen and then I could make a failed push here. Like, that could pull here, but there's no reason why that would do anything for me. Maybe something else? Ooh, what about up here? Ah, but that requires this to be pulled out again, right? It's like the exact same thing. It's like this. But, you know... I did like that. I did think that might have been useful. It's like this, but... it's the same issue. Like, glyph just needs to be pulled out a little bit. This glyph sort of can't be there. What about down here? I mean, the same thing, the same problem occurs, right? What about down here indeed? Nothing. You still need... You still need this glyph to be... You still need this glyph to be doing something else. Like this glyph here. Okay. I don't see anything else at all. Like, I see nothing. Unfortunately, I don't see anything to help me out here. Like, this just seems as good as it gets. This seems to use all the space we have for at least the bottom section. So, you know, I'm at least somewhat... I keep saying that, but I don't know how... Don't know how real this is. I still don't think... Yeah, I still do think that eventually I'm gonna want this anyway. And like, you know, this is the only way a contraction can work as well. It's not gonna do anything different for me. This setup must occur. Which means that yes, I'm pretty sure you must be pressed against the wall. Ah, maybe a contraction is bad. Any reason why a contraction would be bad? Like, isn't this forced anyway? I have to work from here, right? Is there no other way to push you upwards? Like I say, maybe this, if I can pull this out. But that's not going to work. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Maybe somehow I can form multiple... Maybe somehow this is useful? Why would it? You just get two of the identical objects. And two identical objects cannot separate things, right? This just pulls both of them towards you, yeah. So like, no. Why? Yeah, no, I don't see it. No. Nope. Okay. Two contractions cannot be helpful, can they? I can't even get this past it. I could try it. I could attempt to push you down, but this requires other things first. It requires this to be up here, and at which point, you know, I can't really push this up anymore. And if I were to try and avoid it by doing this, then yeah, I could get that up there, but then, you know, I can't get you to face back in the right place. And even then, like, a bunch of stuff still doesn't want to happen. So yeah, my main question now is this right? Is this wrong? I don't know. Ugh. Yucky. Huh. Interesting. Like, yeah, I guess I can get that to happen. I don't see how, you know. No. Why would that do anything? I mean, it does look very interesting. But no, clearly not. Why would that do anything anyway? It's in the wrong row too, so... I just don't think this contraction is good. I know one of these contractions are forced. Like, from what I can tell, this contraction is forced, from what I can tell. Maybe not. You know, maybe not. I can't step on you now. If that happens, I can't step on you ever. Which means that, I already said, these two things are forced to be in the positions or the directions they're in. How do you step on... How do you step on this sound? I can't do that. You know what? I think I'm gonna end off the video for now. I can't solve this. I'm gonna think about it, and I'll come back to it next episode. Alright, so this episode we made what? Even less progress? Yeah, we made even less progress. Jeez. Okay, well, that's fine though. Yeah, I will think about it. I'll let you guys know if I see anything in the future. Yeah, until then though, I think I'll be off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Bye bye.